Hey folks, what's up? Welcome back, another
Pokemon Masters EX
video, and today we're going to talk about, well, Sygna Lusamine and Necrozma. So, every once in a while, you know, the game randomly throws out an absolute, a unit that makes you question what's the purpose of all the other units in this game, and this is Sygna Lusamine, right? Like, this is I can't even put to words into like how powerful she is, right? She's an incredibly powerful unit, and it's just like out of nowhere as well. The same with Groudon Kyogre, right? Groudon Kyogre came out of nowhere, not an anniversary, not a whatever celebration, just there we go, randomly, you know, in the middle of June, July, whatever it was, right? It's so insignificant, the timing. I don't remember if it was June or July. I think it's June. Just randomly, just absolute game-breaking units. And I guess Lusamine isn't as random. It's like Christmas, but like it's also not Christmas. I mean, it's still November, so some people celebrate Christmas and like start celebrating in November. Whatever. She's broken. She's absolutely broken. As a damage dealer, right? She is the best offensive unit in the game by far, right? And she is coming tonight. So as usual, everyone, you know, make sure y'all are subbed and have notification on so we could check out the summons live tonight, right? She is a Master Fair, so we do have that sweet 1% rate for Master Fair units, right? So anyways, just quickly going over her kit, right? It's the Dusk main Necrozma, although once she sinks, it's Ultra Necrozma, and first of all, like straight up, like in terms of like stat wise, this Ultra Necrozma thing is like crazy, because usually, you know, when you sink, you know, when Megas sink, right, they get a, you know, around 20% boost in like 2 of their stats, right? Sometimes it's split between 3 of their stats, right? But usually it's 2 of their stats they get 20% boost in. Necrozma, for some reason, gets a 20% boost in every single one of her stats. Every single one of her stats. Even like attack, which she doesn't even use, right? Every single one of her stats get a huge boost. After, you know, again, Ultra Necrozma, you have 400 speed, which is insane. The defense are kind of whatever. 740 HP, which is a lot of HP, right? And then 774 special attack, which is a lot of special attack as well, right? So going into her move, she has Mirror Shot, which is honestly whatever. It's a 2-gauge steel type, like you're not using the steel damage. Although you can, I guess, if you want. But, you know, you have Mirror Shot over here. You have Dire Hit Plus, which smacks out your crit, obviously. Luminous Love, which reduces your sync move countdown by 2, raises your special attack by 6, and then lowers your speed by 1, which, okay, that's slightly unfortunate. But, you know, you max out your special attack easily, max out your crit easily. You get sync move countdown over here. And then you have Prismatic Laser, which looks like a regular, you know, 4-gauge Psychic type move, no additional effects, 100% accuracy, single target, right? Wrong. Well, I mean, yeah, well, it is, but, you know, in terms of other things that help it out, right? So in terms of your passives, your sync move is a regular, you know, 250, 300 base power or sync move that turns you into an Ultra Necrozma. You know how, like, Megas, since, you know, they get, like, increased stats after they use their sync, they just have like a lower base power move, right? She doesn't have a lower base power move. It's still like the regular 250, 300. As for her passive, again, Master Fair, Alola Spirit. This is basically Kyogre's, but with Alola, right? Powers up special attack of all your allied sync pairs by 20%, reduces special attack damage taken by all allied sync pairs by 25%, and then the more allied sync pairs with a Alola theme on your team, the more these percentages are. Each additional sync pair powers up moves by 15%, reduces damage by 3%, maximum is 50%, and maximum damage reduction of 31% is one of the strongest passives in the game, right? Just in like it's just so much. This is just so much better than the, you know, the flag bearer passives the anniversary units have, right? The whatever, you know, it's better than the flag bearer passes by far, right? Because it's a much steeper jump in these percentages than the flag bearer you know, units, right? And it's much better than the, you know, free BP ones. Those are like terrible, honestly. And then after that, you have Healthy Super Hit, so it gives you a super effective up next, right? When your HP is full when you enter the battle. So you get one free super effective up, most likely going to be used on your sync. And then you have entry freebie, so after you sync, you have a free move, right? Well, you got a free move once you enter it, but you're not going to use your move because you want to like buff first, right? And then after you sync, you have expand reach, which is basically Reshiram's passive, where your attack hits all 3 targets. So Prismatic Laser turns into an AoE move, but you do not take the damage penalty for it being an AoE. So it hits 100% on all 3 targets. The only difference between this and Reshiram's is that this has to be used after sync. But it doesn't matter because you're not using your attack moves before sync anyways because you're buffing. And you want to use your sync anyways because it's very, very powerful after you sync. After you sync, those 2 like entry passive moves get replaced by like actually useful moves or passives for battle, right? Super duper effective 2, extra 20%, multiplier against super effective targets, and then move gauge refresh 4, 50% chance of giving you an extra move gauge back every time you use a move, or at least when it's successful, whatever, right? So, first of all, this already is insane. This is already insane. You don't even have to like look at our grid. It's already insane. But we're gonna look at our grid as well, right? So, alright, so looking at her grid, let's just talk about, if you are going to summon on her, how many copies do you want, right? At 1 out of 5, I really think at 1 out of 5 is fine, because, like, this is insane. This is, like, next level already, right? This is already next level. You do not really have to look at, her grid. But, again, her grid just has some good stuff. So, like, 1 out of 5 of Lusamine is fine. But, there's some extra stuff in the grid as well. 2 out of 5, you do have precognition 3, which I personally like a lot, right? Gives you extra move gauge regen and psychic terrain. Even though you're already super, super fast, like 400 speed here. You also have, move gauge refresh 4 on like everything, basically, right? But it's really, really nice, especially if you are running it with like another 4 gauge move user, like a Hoopa, or if you're running her with Anniversary Lily, right? That helps. You have move gauge refresh on mirror shot for some reason. You have prismatic laser, move gauge refresh 3, right? So you got double move gauge refresh over here. Weird vibes, which is an extra 10% damage in psychic terrain, which again, you want to run her in psychic terrain. That's what makes her broken, right? Psychic terrain gives her an extra 50% damage, like on every psychic hit, right? You have 2 Synga power-up notes, which are nice as well. Some prismatic laser power-ups. So her 2 out of 5 actually not bad, right? And then 3 out of 5 is obviously where she gets all her other stuff. Brain Sync 5 is very nice because it's very, very easy to get. 1 click and then you get all of Brain Sync 5's multipliers, right? Extra 50% on your sync move. Double down 9, extra, 90% power up on your sync move when you're super effective. And then you have Crit Strike 1, which applies, both to your sync move and your prismatic laser, extra 10% when you crit. And you have some mirror shot stuff if you want to use her as like a tech mirror shot thing, which is weird. But then you also have hide and sync, which is extra 100% on your sync move damage when the opponent's accuracy is lowered to -6. Although in my opinion, this is kind of a trap node. You don't really want to go with this, just because like she's so powerful. You like straight up do not need this, right? But yeah, speaking of how powerful she is, like looking at her damage. She's insane. Hoopa is one of the hardest hitting units in the game, right? And still is. Hoopa still is one of the hardest hitting units in the game. Giovanni, incredibly, powerful, damage dealer in the game as well. Singzu Lusamine is much more powerful if you max her out, right? More powerful than these two, right? And we're not even just talking about psychic types. Like, just straight up, like, if you throw her into like any like the other like types as well, right? Like, you're still more powerful than like a lot of these, right? Like straight up, these are sync move power ups. Rock types, like their strongest is nowhere close. Even though Emmett's incredibly powerful too, right? Emmett's incredibly powerful. These are all incredibly powerful units. Diantha, right? Incredibly powerful. Wally, very, very strong. Not even close. Not even close, right? None of these guys are close. You hit more than 1 million. Some sync nukers do like 1 million. This is just on the regular move. And again, she hits all 3 targets without the AoE damage split. Like, as powerful as Kyogre is, right? And Kyogre is one of the most insane units in the game. Kyogre and Groudon, as insane as they are, and as powerful as their regular moves are, their regular moves still get split by the AoE. So every single hit on the opponent is only 50% of their actual damage, right? Well, Lusamine does 100% of the damage, so you're doing 3 times her actual damage in total damage to the opponents, overall. And on top of that, she has a very, very powerful Striker Sync nuke as well, right? Obviously, Lear's nuke is insane, but she has a very, very powerful Sync nuke of her own as well over here. So she's the best, like, by far the best damage dealer, like, offensive unit in the game. Like, she does, like, Reshiram's damage, right? And she has Reshiram's, like, gimmick with the passive where you hit everything, but she does, like, almost, like, twice his damage. So, yeah, if you thought Reshiram was good, oh my goodness, right? she's so much more powerful, again, in terms of just doing damage. So, is she someone you should try to go for? Yes. When people talk about saving for gems, you're saving for units like this. You're saving for these Lusamines, right? You're saving for these Archie, Groudons. You're saving for stuff like Anniversary and Lily, whatever, right? Those kind of units. These are the units that you're saving for. She's that powerful. She is that powerful. A few caveats, right? I'm not saying that you have to summon for her. If you don't summon for her, it's whatever, right? One, you don't have to summon for her ASAP, right? Because at the, she's still around at the end of the month. The banner ends on the 29th, if I remember correctly, December 29th. So by then, we should know what's next month's units. If you are still, for some reason, on the fence on this unit, which, you could have, you could say, oh, how much is this worth my gems? You could have that conversation, but you cannot have a conversation in terms of how good is she as a damage dealer, right? She's unparalleled, right? But again, you can, for those who are still caution on the fence, you can still wait for the end of the month before you summon, just see what's going on next month, right? I mean, just in case you have your favorite character or something next month, because, again, if there's some other unit that's your favorite character, there's nothing you can do about that. You should probably just go for favorite character, right? And the other thing is, yes, she is incredibly broken, but some people will say, well, Mewtwo is free, and Mewtwo, even though is not as powerful, is still a solid psychic type damage dealer over here, right? That you could utilize. Which is true. However, my counter argument to that is, here's the thing: you don't have to use Lusamine for Psychic Week, even though she does have like some super duper effective nodes. You could keep Mewtwo as your Psychic type damage dealer, right, for Psychic Week stages, and then you could use Lusamine for a free clear on like any stage. You could use her for free clear on any stage, no matter what the opponent's weakness is. It's basically going to be a free clear. Like, let's be real. Like, even if your supports suck, it's going to be very, very hard to lose with this unit. Just because of, again, how dominant she is offensively, right? So, yeah, I very, very strongly recommend it. Again, you don't have to listen to me. People, I'm not forcing anyone to use their gems on whatever, right? Again, another one of the things that people might have in mind is, well, how about her versus something else in this month? Because again, there's a lot of great units this month, like a Leon, like a Nessa, right, like a Sonya. Sonya, let's talk about first, because she's the easiest to talk about. She's incredibly powerful. In my opinion, she's top 3 supports in the game. However, she is a Spotlight Scout, so she's going to be in every single banner after this, right? You always will have a chance to. Again, a very low chance to, right? Because Spotlights have 2% rates for the featured, and if she's unfeatured, she's like 0. something percent. But you always will have a chance to get Sonya, right? And as for the other two, those two are seasonals as well, so those are limited. So it's, you might say there's a bit, obviously, again, Leon, very, very powerful, right? It's a solid 800k damage dealer, although being AoE, but you also have like a 44%, fully gridded, you have 44% chance of freezing the entire opponent team, which is incredibly powerful. And Ice Q is kind of like a Leafeon, but for hail, and a bit, I'd say slightly worse. But, something like, that unit, constructed like that is still very, very powerful. But they are nowhere near as good as Lusamine. Like, they are incredibly powerful. If you put those two units in like any other month, there's a solid chance for them to be the best unit of that month, right? All three of those, they could easily be like the best unit of that month in a lot of months, but not this month. And I do not think they're as close as how powerful Lusamine is, right? So anyways, yeah, that's again my suggestion. You don't have to go for it, but I strongly recommend it. She is just so much better than any other damage dealer in the game. She's so much better, right? She is just that much better. Especially have something like Anniversary Lily. Anniversary Lily, like, this, by the way, the damage calculations over here, I'm pretty sure does not include running her together with Anniversary Lily. If you run her together with Anniversary Lily, right, they both have the Alolan Master passives. Like, that's insane. That's just like unreal, right? Over here, you have what, 35% buff from Necrozma, and then with Anniversary Lily, right, you have the extra Flag Bearer, Alolan Flag Bearer, which gives you, another how much was it, 20%, right? So that's 55% damage buff to both of these units. Both these units again. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention about Lusamine. Well, I kind of mentioned, but just to top it, Alolan Spirit. She's amazing as a damage dealer, but again, Alolan Spirit could also buff your teammates. Here's the one thing I don't like about it, and why I do think Kyogre's is better. Even though they kind of are the same thing, but one for Hoenn, one for Alola. There's just more Hoenn special damage dealers, right? There's May, there's Brendan, although Brendan with Kyogre is a weird mix. Rayquaza, well, I guess both Rayquazas can technically have special moves. Right? There's a lot of special damage dealers in Hoenn. There is not a lot in Alola, right? It's the main ones are basically just Lusamine, the other Lusamine, which you can't run them together. They're both Lusamines. And then it's Anniversary Lily. Although on the bright side, that does mean she has a lot of future potential, right? A lot of future potential with a special damage dealing, Alolan units added in the future. Because like all the ones right now are like physical, right? Like all like the Alolan damage dealer are like physical. Bolt, Decidueye, right? Like the Goliath Spot, if you want to count that for some reason, right? Yeah, they're mostly all physical, Lycanroc. But in the future, if they do add more, it's only going to make her stronger, right? So anyways, that's it for this one. Hope you all enjoyed. Guys, think in the comments down below. Like and share this videos from our channel for some more Pokemon Masters content. Or
Pokemon Masters EX
content. And again, I'll see you guys tonight at this summoning stream where we will try to pull for 3 out of 5 Synga, Lusamine, and Necrozma. And I'll see you guys then.